Willow to get arrested, but I was not expecting Nina to get arrested too. I said, she don't talk all that noise about Carly this and Carly that. Now, for a second, I did think that Carly was finna get arrested because Chase was looking directly at her or whatever. Next thing you know, went right over there to Nina. I said, I said, wait, what a way to end the episode. Now I'm wondering if either one of them did it. Now that they don't got arrested, I don't think they did it now. I don't know, y'all. Then, not only that, I was saying, do y'all think, or I was asking, do y'all think that Kai may have saw who shot Drew? Because they made a comment on today's episode about, I think Trina was the one who said, it's not like we saw, I don't know which one of them, actually. One of them said they so glad that they didn't see who shot Drew or whatever. And not only that, they mentioned the first shot. Then they mentioned the second shot. I don't know if that was just leading up to the whole two people being arrested, because it kind of seemed like they was implying that one person shot him once and one person shot him the second time. But at the same time, Nina couldn't have did it. That's why they arrested her for conspiracy, because they said at the time that Drew was shot, she was at her place. So she got arrested for conspiracy. So they saying that she was in on it. But yeah, I was like, now I don't think that they did it. Now I was like, they don't, the way they went about it. I was like, I don't think they did it. Now I was saying Willow had done it, and she still had guilty. She definitely do. But the way they did it, I was like, do y'all think that she did it now? I don't know, cause why would Michael have to set her up? How did the weapon get there? Cause I'm assuming that's what they got, the weapon. How did it get back there? Is that why she was tiptoeing around? And they still ain't showed us no flashback. They showed a flashback about Trina and Kai retracing their steps, but then hadn't they already done it? So that's why I was like, okay, maybe Kai, when he went back out or whatever, he told her to stay right there. Maybe he saw something when he went out. I don't know what it is. I was assuming that one of them saw something, but so far nothing. And not only that, the bat situation, like, how does that come into play? What was the reason for it if y'all ain't gonna address it? So now I'm wondering, like, okay, does Kai know who did it? Did somebody see who did it or what? And also, is Trina gonna tell her parents that they had the evidence? But okay, so I'm gonna do a quick summary and then we're gonna dive into the review. I said, well, I was wrong. Nina got arrested too, her and Willow. I thought they was funny. There was a close one. They gotta be quicker than that. Drew ended up asking Willow to move back in, and she agreed, but you could tell that she was reluctant. You could tell that she was reluctant to do it. Chase was focused on Willow once again. Trina and Kyle was retracing their steps. Portia basically don't want to stay married to Curtis. He's still just trying to say, I think we should stay married or whatever, because I'm trying to protect you and stuff like that. She was like, she don't need protection. She was like, look, I got a new man. I don't need you to protect me. If it boils down to it, all I got to do is call my side dude and he could be my alibi, because I was with him anyway. So I really don't need your protection anyway. She was just talking in a way that's like, girl, like she didn't want to stay married. Then she was like, unless you need me to help you out or whatever to protect you, because if that's the case, then we can stay married a little while longer or whatever. At least she did say that much. I said, that's the least you could do, cheater. That's the least you could do, girl. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Carly and Nina was doing, wait, I skipped the part. Let's see. Nathan ends up going to Anna for his job back. Carly and Nina was doing what they do, arguing. Michael ended up telling Sonny that he was okay and he wouldn't be the one to be arrested. He just kept saying, he said that on the other episode, Friday's episode or whatever. So he the one set them up. But Sonny ends up calling Dante there to Diane them office, because he wanted to ask if Michael would be arrested. He was like, I can't tell you nothing. You need to start trying to protect him. He gone right and all this other stuff. And then he was like, none of the warrants out was for Michael. But you're not going to like who the warrants are for. So that's when he hurried up. I said, he teleported to Bobby's. Then he still trying to protect her. I said, I got to say, even though sometimes I don't like how they be about each other, I do love that they have each other back, despite them being together, married, divorced, playing house, whatever they be doing. I do like how they protect each other. I definitely do, because the other folks just be throwing. Look at Molly, don't threw Michael under the bus. I mean, they ain't close like them, but still. She's over here, well, she would have never known if you had to say no will and all this other stuff, snitch. They shouldn't be working on the case either. But yeah, and the last thing was that Nina was trying to catch up with Nathan when Chase came to arrest her. But yeah, hey y'all, welcome back to another review of Life of Chester for General Hospital, October 13, 2025. First things first, let me know y'all thoughts on this episode down below. What y'all think? Did y'all like the episode? How did y'all, matter of fact, scratch that. How did y'all like the ending? I was like, I did not expect that. I mean, she did lie, and I was just asking y'all, I was like, can she get arrested for lying? I think she could get arrested for lying. And look, now it make it seem like she was trying to murder him too. But yeah, so at the beginning of the episode, they showed Chase in Brooklyn, and they were just talking about Ronnie and Tracy. I think she was packing up the little tea set or whatever because she was mad that Ronnie used it. Then they started talking about Willow. They started talking about Willow, and well, actually, he said something about. Let me find it. He wasn't going into work because Anna felt like it's a conflict of interest because of one of the suspects, and she was like, I'm assuming that the suspect is Willow. And he just went on and on about how he may have been the one to make her a suspect because he mentioned the whole Drew situation and stuff like that. And then he just kept going on and on. She was like, okay, you acting like it's still your job to protect her or whatever. He's like, I know, don't get me wrong, I love being married to you and all this other stuff, but at the same time, how did I get so lucky? She ended up in a bad situation because she chose it. Because she chose to. I said, this is why I always said about that whole storyline. They tried to make Michael the bad guy because they had him sleep with Sasha before Drew and Willow actually slept together. I said, she still cheated. She still kissed, hug. No, I ain't gonna say a hug. It depends on the type of hug, actually. But yeah. I said, no, I don't like how they try to do that. Don't try to sit up here and make it seem like he was the cheater and it was them the whole time. But yeah, they were just talking about that, and she was like, it's a lot of breakable stuff in there, meaning she gonna throw something at him or whatever if he keep on. Because he just kept on talking about Willow or whatever. That's when he started trying to reassure her or whatever. And she was like, Willow's a grown woman. She made her own choices. Everybody kept trying to tell her. And I said, exactly. And I still don't think, I think she see who Drew is, but she just desperate. I think she just desperate to get her kids back, but she going about it the wrong way. And I'm hoping, once again, I hope that Michael got the doggone evidence. Because they had mentioned the doggone weapon or whatever. They had, if I'm not mistaken, how do you know about the weapon? Was it when they came for the warrant? When they came with the warrant. Because I was like, okay, now. And who was he on the phone with that day? Who was Michael on the phone with that day? But I'm hoping that he got video of her sneaking back in and placing the doggone weapon or whatever. But yeah, because otherwise it's still going to make him look guilty because he went over to Elizabeth's house. Carly went over to Elizabeth's house. They could just say that they got it from upstairs or wherever it was, and they went planted it there. Especially the way Elizabeth and Chase been defending Willow and stuff. All Elizabeth got to do is she know for a fact that Carly threatened her or whatever. And she also know that Carly stopped by. And Michael stopped by. So that looked like a setup. That looks like a setup. But yeah, after all that, I was like, I was saying Willow. And it still seemed like Willow because she obviously don't want Drew. She obviously up to something or whatever. And then it's just the fact she's so far gone. The man told you he didn't know who shot him. He didn't know who shot him. He told you flat out he was going to frame the father of your kids or whatever. You said, okay, you willing to go with it. What she said on today's episode? Did I write it down? She said something. Oh, she got to deal with what Michael say until, he's arrested. The fact that that Drew over here lying and stuff like that and you don't care shows a lot. It says a lot. But if I'm not mistaken, I think Chase got a call and he was like, okay, I'll make the arrest. So I'm like, he got to go. He going to be the one to arrest Willow, but no, he ended up being the one to arrest Nina. Who we got next? Willow and Drew. So Willow ends up telling Drew that this is what she has to do until Michael is arrested, play nice and stuff. I said, Michael didn't care that. Michael stepped it up perfectly. I was like, Michael, you didn't care that the kids saw her get arrested? Now, Amelia may not know what's going on, but I'm sure Wiley know what's going on. Matter of fact, Amelia might know too because they flat out said she arrested for attempted murder of Drew, didn't they? I was like, Michael don't care, dude. I was like, Michael is low down. Well, I ain't gonna say low down because if they trying to say him, of course, flip the script. Of course, flip the script. That's why I was like, okay, hopefully he has evidence because how would you know? How would you know? I don't know. Maybe because they mentioned it. Well, yeah, it's like Michael said, you get one more visit. You get one more visit with your kids. I said, Michael, you is your father's child. You is your father. Well, yeah, you is your father's child. What the world? But yeah, like I said, they were just talking about Michael getting arrested. Drew want Willow to move in, and she was like, she don't want to do nothing to jeopardize the little time she do get with her kids. And she made some comment about it or whatever, and she just unappreciative after everything you done did or whatever. Really? But yeah, Drew thinks Michael using the kids to keep them apart. What else? Yeah, he just was saying how he thinks that, Michael's trying to use the kids to keep them apart, don't fall for it and stuff like that. Willow ends up saying that Michael gonna get away with it. That's another comment she made to myself. So he gonna get away with it like he always do. And the way she said it and the way she looked, I was like, now, come on now. Come on now. Then Sid was supposed to be talking to Drew on tomorrow's episode. I think they said he's supposed to be upset about something. And I was like, welcome back, Sid. Well, now we can get on with your storyline too. What else happened? Let's see with Willow before we go back. Let's see. Willow ends up agreeing to move back in. Drew was happy. I think they hugged. Did they kiss too? I don't know if they kissed, but he went back to the house or whatever. Kai was getting things ready for him. At first, I was like, Kai, now why would you go back to the crime scene and take Trina with you? Then that makes sense. But yeah, Willow ended up telling Drew that she had to go get ready for her visit with the kids. What else? Let's see. Only thing I wrote down, Michael and Willow. Kai and Trina, they came back to the house, and she had doubts. She was like, we shouldn't be back here. So they decided to retrace their steps. And I really wish that they had shown maybe Kai seen who it was. Maybe they seen the car pulling out or something. Because where does this come into play? Where does this come into play unless Drew finds out about the fingerprints and stuff like that and tell him to say what he saw? Like, but at the same time, like, wouldn't he have to say why he was there? But he do work for him, though. Will Drew remember them talking to him and stuff like that when he got shot? Because they was talking to him, or they was talking and stuff like that, and they was finna call for help, but then somebody was pulling up. But yeah, they was just retracing their steps, and they was doing the flashbacks, and they obviously remembered the back. She did pick up that blanket or whatever, and then she put it back on the couch, but I'm assuming that it don't have fingerprints or something, because why didn't they do that as well? Then they made, once again, like I said at the beginning, they made a comment about how it's a good thing, or they so glad that they didn't actually see the face of somebody that shot them. They also said the first shot went off, then they was like the second shot. It kind of made it seem like it was two people who did it. So then I'm assuming they just set it up for the ending where two people got arrested. But I was like, do y'all think, like, I don't know. I was convinced that Willow did it at first, but now the way they went about it, I don't know. I really don't know. She acting very suspicious, but she been crazy for some months now. She definitely has. What else? Let's see. We already talked about Willow telling Drew. Kai and Trina want to cover their tracks, and they were still saying how Curtis and them can never know that they was there. No one can ever know. So I'm assuming somebody's going to find out. Curtis ends up saying how he wants to hold off on the divorce because, you know, the whole Drew situation, and he got a good word from his source or whatever. Martin the only one knew, so Martin must have snitched. Martin told him, I'm going to say Martin, because Martin was the only one that knew. If I'm not, no, I take that back. It wasn't Martin. I just thought about it. It was Jordan. They showed that. How I forget that part. It was Jordan. Because at first I was like, Martin must have told, because don't nobody else know, but I forgot that Jordan knew. Jordan was the one who told. Oh, he did right to not tell her. She would have definitely had a fit. He definitely did right not to tell her who the source was. But yeah, he was like, the source told him that basically he trying to blame it on one of them and stuff like that. And she still was like, I'm fine. I don't need protection. I said, well, just tell him that you got a man and you got an alibi. Go on, tell him. Because I think he told his dad, he told Marsha that she didn't have an alibi. I said, she got an alibi. Well, yeah, I was like, that's why she said she protects. She was like, unless, you know, you need an alibi, unless you need for us to stay married or whatever, I guess we could stay married a little while longer or whatever. But he was like, what did he say? He was just, I forgot, he made some comment. I forgot what he said, y'all. But she was like, anyways, I know for a fact that we ain't, you know, nobody's going to arrest her or nothing like that because they got another suspect, Willow. Basically, she was at Elizabeth's house, and that's when they came. They found some type of evidence and stuff like that. And I was like, yeah, it looked like Willow did it, but at the same time, it might have been Sidwell. Maybe Sidwell had that lady that y'all said. What's her name? Corlette. Maybe it was. I say if they just do the doggone flashback, we won't have to continue to do this doggone guessing. We won't have to guess if we actually knew who did it. Maybe it's somebody we least suspect, y'all. But what else? Let's see. Curtis wants to hold off on the divorce. We talked about that. And Anna and Dante end up welcoming Nathan back. Nina ends up telling Carla that she pleased Michael finally being reasonable or whatever. So they got to arguing about that. And I said, see, this is how we got here. Because first of all, Nina set it in motion because she took it upon herself to set the divorce in motion in the first place. Then Carly, when he was over there recovering, she also got the little custody battle going. So y'all sit there and think about what y'all did. Y'all both need to sit there and think about what y'all did. Both of y'all set all this in motion. Both of them. It's not just Drew. It's not just Willow. It's Carly and Nina too. Cause Nina started it by getting wasn't it Martin first? She got Martin involved. Nobody said they wanted no doggone divorce. She did that, trying to beat Michael to the whole custody situation. Then Carly took it upon herself. So they both was overstepping per usual. They both got a lot in common per usual. I don't understand how people don't see that these two. The difference is Nina never learned. I mean, Carly don't never learn depending on the situation, but Nina over here, no accountability whatsoever. Did y'all see that Jason's supposed to be telling Carly that Jocelyn is a WSB agent this week? I said, now what's going to lead him to tell her? What's going to happen? But yeah, I'm assuming Britt finna get ready to be arrested. I was like, what made him decide to tell? Because now Britt finna get arrested. But yeah, let's go back to Nina and them. They was arguing. She was like, she pleased Michael finally being reasonable. They was arguing about who to blame. Nina said Michael won't be free long because of the Drew shooting. So they was talking about who has more motive and stuff like that. So they started talking about Nell because Nina was blaming Carly. Did Carly? I remember they was fighting, when they Nell and Carly was fighting, and then she fall off the ledge or something like that. I don't know. I can't exactly remember, but they didn't ever find nobody, did they? Or they did, but they never showed her. I don't know how. I forgot. It's been so many years. But they was arguing about that. Next thing you know, Nathan came, and that's when they was sitting down or whatever. Chase showed up, and she was like, look like Carly finna go down for this after all, because Sonny had just came in to warn her or whatever. And then it was too late. They was walking through the door, but they ended up arresting Nina for conspiracy to commit murder. Next thing you know, the other Annabelle ended up arresting Willow for the attempted murder of Drew in front of the kids. I know people from the head. I was about to say, that ain't no word. What am I about to say? I know people about to have a fit. I know people finna have a fit in the comments because a lot of people been talking about how Michael been doing Willow. Not to mention, nobody mentioning, well, no, it's a lot of people mentioning it, but I'm just saying it like that. Nobody mentioning how this lady need help and how she grabbing folks, babies and stuff like that. But yeah, they be acting like the parent. If you're a parent, that means that you can do whatever you want to do and say whatever you want to say. No, but yeah, let's see what else. I already said Anna and Dante welcome Nathan back. Might as well get them out the way. He wanted his job back. She was like, no, because they need to find out first where he's been and what he been up to. He be looking out suspicious. I don't know. I don't remember. I remember him some. But I was like, has he always done this or what? Because he be looking suspicious. He be looking like he knows something that you don't know. That's like he looking very suspicious. Like he know more than what he said. Because he was like, he don't know anything. He ready to get back to work and stuff like that. But she was like, until they know where he's been and stuff like that, then right now it's a pause. Right now it's a pause. He was like, he appreciates Spinelli, but he's not his father, so he want to be able to provide for him. Excuse me. And I said, are you his father? Because at this point, people been steady saying how you not Nathan, you a fake Nathan. But we'll see. We already covered Nina and Carly arguing. Sonny was talking to Michael, telling him he's going to need a lawyer. So he was like, just me and you. Your mother's not around. Tell me what happened. So he stuck to his story. He didn't tell nothing. So Sonny was like, if that's all you got, you gonna need a lawyer or whatever. You could, well, he said you could prepare to be arrested. I said, right, exactly. I said, once again, Elizabeth, all she got to do is say that that Michael and Carly both stopped by the day that they found the doggone weapon. Or the day before. I was like, that's all she got to do. Then they seem know they going to get questioned or whatever. Unless Michael got actual evidence of her sneaking in with something and placing it, or sneaking in with the weapon and stuff like that. Other than that, I don't know. I wish they'd do a flashback and actually let us know who did it. It's about that time now. It's been long enough now. We tired of playing the guessing game. But yeah, what else? Let's see. Did I say Curtis? And of course, she ended up telling Trina that they're getting a divorce, and she looks shocked. I don't know if I said it or not, but yeah, that's what happened. Michael said once again they didn't shoot Drew. So far, everybody don't say they didn't shoot Drew except, I think Nina said she didn't do it. Carla said she didn't do it. I mean, that don't mean nothing. You can say you didn't do something, but that don't mean that you actually didn't do it. You could have did it. But yeah, so far, I don't think Willow, I was thinking Willow, or now Sidwell, because he back and everything. He's supposed to be at Drew's house. But it was somebody with hair. So it could have been Corlette, because I think she was still in town or whatever. She hadn't got arrested or wherever Brandon don't send her. Wherever Brandon don't send her. What else? I already said Nathan wanted his badge back. Nina said she was just, oh, Nina over here talking about, telling Carly, I was just using Drew. I ain't really want him. Girl, you was falling for him. And then you seen that he wanted your daughter and you tried harder. Then you did admit that you wanted to keep him away from her, the good that did. You slept with him. He still was over here thinking about her. The good that did, over here sleeping with somebody to make them forget about your daughter. And it still didn't work out. How did it work out for you? It didn't. It didn't. But yeah, she's like, I was just using you. A lie. You a lie. You was falling for dude. And I hate that they did it like that because they didn't actually reveal that Nina cheated on Sonny. They didn't actually reveal that. They didn't. Oh, what else? I already said Willow was talking about how Michael gonna get away with it. He always gets away with it. They got a history of violence or whatever. Let's see. Let me make sure I cover everything. Michael said he won't be the one to be charged. Brooklyn tells Chase he's still acting like he's responsible for Willow. Anna brings up Nathan's recovery. Portia told Curtis she don't need his protection. Oh, Kai and Trina ended up, they said it before. They was like, they remember Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That's the ringtone that Drew has for Scout. So she actually saved her dad. Michael said he got to do whatever it takes to make sure Willow can't ever get the kids back. Sonny ends up asking Dante if the police gonna arrest Michael, and I was like, "You asking what now?" I said, "Now, Sonny, you know he ain't gonna. He pick and choose when he want to help." Remember that scene? I forgot. Was it about Brennan? Where they was investigating him and he felt some type of way. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't he actually warn Sonny? But yeah, he's my son. Michael's a grown man. He made his choice and stuff like that. And I said, the type of brother you is. But I understand, though, because if he did it, then he did it. But I was like, you went to the wrong person. But he did say, once again, that all the warrants that's out is not for Michael. But he's not going to, like, who it's for. What else? Let's see. I think the last thing... Dante said he don't think Curtis and Portia tell Trina they're getting a divorce. Nina ends up getting arrested for conspiracy to commit murder, and Willow gets arrested for attempted murder of Drew or whatever. And I think she's supposed to be asking somebody. I'm assuming Michael that she's supposed to be asking if they did that to her or whatever. And I said Drew finna have a fit. I said Drew finna what's it called? What's it called? Not hurricane. What do I look for? A twister? I said, he finna come through there like it ain't nothing in Clear House. He finna go after everybody, make up all type of stuff to take people down. I said, he finna dig up old dirt and everything. Y'all don't get his woman out of jail. Then Nina over here making demands and stuff, talking about she want to talk to her now. So I don't know if she talking about her lawyer. I don't know if she talking about Willow. I said, stop trying to save her. I said, now you need to stop trying to save her because she need help and you know she need help because you already know about the whole Daisy situation. You sitting up there not saying nothing or doing nothing to get your child help. But yeah, that's it. That's all. Let me know your thoughts on this episode down below. Stay tuned for the next review. Until next time, deuces. Have a great rest of the day and be safe.